What is happiness? You want to be happy? You can be. We sometimes miss the great joys in life by snatching too eagerly at the froth and glittering, the falls and the glittering froth. Anyone can earn happiness, and oftentimes it is close at hand, yet unseen. To find happiness, we must search our own hearts, for it comes from within, through our own efforts and beliefs. The fount of happiness is in the heart. In the search for happiness, one must constantly remember, naught had, all spent, where our desire is got without content. The secret of happiness is not in doing what one likes, but in liking what one has to do. He who harbors a slight will miss the haven of happiness. Each unit of nature has its special work to do, and each performs its function to perfection in accordance with the laws of the universe. So also human beings, each has a distinct contribution to make. Be what you were intended to be. Give what you ought to give. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. We can't all be captains, we got to be crew. There's something for all of us here. There's big work to do and there is lesser to do. And the task we must do is the near. If you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't in size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are. We look too high for things close by. Happiness is where it is found and seldom where it is sought. Some people have every reason to be happy, but they insist on thinking they are unhappy. Those who persist on feeling abused close the door to happiness when they might easily enjoy its riches. You have to believe in happiness or happiness never comes. I know that the bird chirps nonetheless when all that he finds is crumbs. You have to believe that the winds will blow, believe in the grass, the days of snow. That's the reason the bird can sing. On his darkest day, he believes in spring. On his darkest day, he believes in spring. You have to believe in happiness. It isn't an outward thing. The spring never makes the song, I guess, as much as the song makes the spring. A man's heart could find content if it saw the joy on the road it went, the joy ahead when it had to grieve. For the joy is there, but you have to believe. Happiness is the mental state of contentment which comes from successful adaptation to the world as it really is. It comes from being useful, of contributing to the welfare and happiness of others. Why destroy your present happiness by a distant misery, which may never come at all? For every substantial grief has 20 shadows, most of the shadows of your own thinking. When a bit of sunshine hits ye after passing of a cloud, when a bit of laughter gets ye and your spine is feeling proud, don't forget to up and fling it at the soul that's feeling blue. For the minute that you sling it, it's a boomerang for you. A laugh is just like music. It lingers in the heart when its melody is heard. The ills of life depart. You should realize that if you were busy being kind before you knew it, you would find you would soon forget to think it was true that someone was unkind to you. If you were busy being glad and cheering people who are sad, although your heart might ache a bit, you would soon forget to notice it. The delights of thought, of truth, of work, and of well-doing will not descend upon us like the dew upon the flower, without effort of our own. Labor, watchfulness, perseverance, self-denial, fortitude are the elements of which this kind of joy is formed. The happiness of man in this life does not consist in the absence, but in the mastery of his passions. Virtue alone is happiness below. Doing good is the only certainly happy action of a man's life. Happier? That would mean more contented with my station in life, striving to derive all possible benefits from it, to beautify rather than alter it. My friend, do you know why the work you accomplish fails either to give pleasure to yourself or others? It's because it's not cheerfully done and therefore appears discolored. The world is So full of a number of things, I'm sure we should be all happy as kings. And now I exhort you to be of good cheer. Live for something, have a purpose. That purpose keep in view. Drifting like a helmless vessel, there can't never be life to true. My crown is in my heart, not on my head. Not decked with diamonds and Indian stones, for to be seen my crown is called content. A crown it is that seldom kings enjoy. The two ways of being happy. You may either diminish our wants or augment our means. Either will do. For pleasures are like poppies spread. You seize the flower, the bloom is shed. Here is a motto, just your fit, laugh a little bit. When you think you are trouble hit, laugh a little bit. Look misfortune in the face, brave the beldame's rude grimace. 10 to 1 will yield its place, if you have the wit and grit, just to laugh a little bit. Keep your face with sunshine lit, laugh a little bit. To be constantly employed and never asking what shall I do is the secret of much goodness and happiness. There are times in life when we bemoan the fact that light-hearted joyousness of youth has left us. We blame our circumstances, environment and associates. Some go in search of that which is gone. Do not let such a loss disturb you. In due time, that which you think is lost will emerge again in a bigger, deeper joy. Tranquility, the crown of patience, suffering and faith. Thoughts can establish happiness. It's as essential to control our thoughts as it is to control our actions. We are careful that our actions are good, clean and gracious. It is even more important that our thoughts be likewise, because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The mind in its own place and in itself can make a heaven out of hell, a hell of heaven. If instead of a gem or even a flower, we would cast the gift of a lovely thought into the heart of a friend, that would be giving as the angels must give. No benefactor is equal to him who peoples life with new and lofty ideals. For that thou seest man, that too become thou must. God if thou seest God, dust if thou seest dust. Thinking good is thanking God. Ideals are like stars. You will not succeed in touching them with your hands, but like the seafaring man on the ocean desert of waters, you choose them as your guides, and following them, you reach your destiny. The thoughts which nestle within us and issue from us in language and in act determine a moral character. The most exquisite piece of sculpture which Michelangelo or Rodin ever carved was once only a thought. Men should be judged not by the tint of the skin, the gods they serve, the vintage that they drink, nor by the way they fight love or sin, but by the quality of thoughts they think. I will govern my life and my thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and to read the other. The thought that leads to no action is not thought, it is dreaming. The happiest people in the world are those who have the most interesting thoughts. We live in deeds, not years, in thoughts, not breaths, in feelings, not in figures on the dial. We should count time by heart throbs. He most lives who thinks most, feels the noblest, acts the best. May we have high erected thoughts seated in the heart of courtesy. Do you know that your thoughts rule your life? Because if they're pure or impure, they can make a serious difference. As you think, so you are. They make or mar. They can make you or mar. Your success is in this world because of your thoughts. Hitch your wagon to a star, but keep your feet on the ground. The pleasantest things in the world are pleasant thoughts, and the great art in life is to have as many of them as possible. Don't let your secret thoughts be fair. They have a vital part and share in shaping words and molding fate. God's system is so intricate. You can never tell what your thoughts will do in bringing you hate or love. For thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. They follow the law of the universe. Each thing must create its kind, and they speed over the track to bring you back whatever went out from your mind. John Ruskin says, I believe every right action and true thought sets the seal of its beauty on person and face. Why imagine evil intentions against yourself? Cannot you see how the thought troubles and disquiets you? Whenever a noble deed is wrought, whenever is spoken a noble thought, our hearts in glad surprise to higher levels rise. Whatever things are true, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, think on those things. There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. As thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. Where is happiness? One of the most satisfying experiences in life is deep appreciation of nature. Wealth, health, friends, and fame can be taken from us. But if we have a deep feeling for beauty in nature, we can still be happy. At times, nature is so lovely that an individual feels thwarted because he is unable to express the connotations or the emotions it arouses in his soul. Poems which accurately express their emotions help us to express ourselves. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. John Keats. Nature always wears the color of the spirit. To me, the meanest flower that blows can give thoughts that do often lie too deep for tears. Be alert, lest material interests callous our souls and prevent us from identifying ourselves with nature. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon for this, for everything. We are out of tune. Daytime has no exclusive right to the beauties of nature. You will be the richer for taking this thought with you into the night. Silently, one by one, in the infinite meadows of heaven, blossom the lovely stars, the forget-me-nots of the angels. What's a flower? The flower in a crannied wall. I pluck you out of the crannies. I hold you here, root and all, in my hand, little flower. But if I could understand what you are, root and all in all, I should know what God and man is. In summer, the soul of nature seems to expand. And what is so rare as a day in June? Then if ever come perfect days, then heaven tries earth, if it be in tune, and over it softly her warm ear lay. Whether we look or whether we listen, we hear life murmur or see it glisten. Every clod feels a stir of might, an instinct within it that reaches and towers, and groping blindly above it for light, climbs to a soul in grass and flowers. Now is the high tide of the year, and whatever of life hath ebbed away comes flooding back with a ripply cheer. In every bare inlet and creek and bay, now the heart is so full that a drop overfills it. We are happy now because God wills it. No matter how barren the past may have been, it is enough for us now that the leaves are green, and the eyes forget the tears they have shed. The heart forgets its sorrow and ache. The soul partakes the season's youth, and the sulphurous drifts of passion and woe lie deep beneath a silence pure and smooth, like burnt out craters healed with snow. Here is something to remember when the first snow falls. The snow had begun in the gloaming, and busily all the night had been heaping fields and highway with a silence deep and white. Every pine and fir and hemlock wore ermine too dear for an earl, and the poorest twig on the elm tree was ridged inch deep with pearl. From sheds new roofed with Carrara came Chanticleer's muffled crow. The stiff rails were softened to swan's down and still fluttered down the snow. Winter brings a crisp, delicate beauty of its own. Down swept the chill wind from the mountain peak, from the snow 5,000 summers old. On open world and hilltop bleak, it had gathered all the cold and whirled it like sleet on the wanderer's cheek. It carried a shiver everywhere from the unleafed boughs and pastures bare. The little brook heard it and built a roof, neath which he could house him winter-proof. All night by the white star's frosty gleams, he groaned his arches and matched his beams. Slender and clear were his crystal spars, as the lashes of light that trim the stars. He sculptured every summer delight in his halls and chambers out of sight. Sometimes his tinkling waters slipped down to a frost-leaved forest crypt, long sparkling aisles of steel-stemmed trees, bending to counterfeit a breeze. Sometimes the roof no fretwork knew, but silvery mosses that downward grew. Sometimes it was carved in sharp relief with quaint arabesques of ice-formed leaf. Sometimes it was simply smooth and clear for the gladness of heaven to shine through. No mortal builder's most rare device could match this winter palace of ice. When you enter a rich woodland, consider, this is the forest primeval. The murmuring pines and the hemlocks, bearded with moss and in garments green, indistinct in the twilight, stand like druids of old, with voices sad and prophetic, stand like harpers bore, with beards that rest on their bosoms, speaks and in accents disconsolate, answers the wail of the forest. This is the forest primeval, but where are the huts that beneath it leaped like the doe when he hears in the woodland the voice of the huntsman? The treasures of nature are open to all who will see them. When the little Hiawatha learned of every bird its language, learned their names and all their secrets, how they built their nests in summer, where they hid themselves in winter, talked with them whenever he met them, called them Hiawatha's chickens. Of all the beasts, he learned the language, learned their names and all their secrets, how the beavers built their lodges, where the squirrels hid their acorns, how the reindeer ran so swiftly, why the rabbit was so timid, talked with them whenever he met them, called them Hiawatha's brothers. When depressed or sorrowful, my garden spade can heal, a woodland walk a quest of river grapes, a mocking thrush a wild rose, a rock-loving columbine salve my worst wounds. Do you realize all that music can do for your spirit? Seated one day at the organ, I was weary and ill at ease, and my fingers wandered idly over the noisy keys. I do not know what I was playing or what I was dreaming then, but I struck one chord of music like the sound of a great amen. Amen. It flooded the crimson twilight like the close of an angel's psalm, and it lay on my fevered spirit with a touch of infinite calm. It quieted pain and sorrow like love overcoming strife. It seemed the harmonious echo from our discordant life. It linked all perplexed meanings into one perfect peace and trembled away into silence as if it were loath to cease. I have sought, but I seek it vainly, that one lost chord divine that comes from the soul of the organ and entered into mine. It may be that death's bright angel will speak in that chord again. It may be that only in heaven I shall hear that grand Amen. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. Clear placid Leman, thy contrasted lake, with the wild world I dwelt in, is a thing which wants me, with its stillness, to forsake earth's troubled waters for a purer spring. And just in case conceit forms a stumbling stone, preventing you from traveling the road to happiness, remember man's littleness in the presence of the stars. Thou proud man, look upon your starry vault, look upon yon starry vault, survey the countless gems which richly stud the night's imperial chariot. Telescopes will show the myriads more innumerous as the sea sand. Each of those little lamps is the great source of light, the central sun round which some other mighty sisterhood of planets travel, every planet stocked with living beings important as thee. Now, proud man, now where is thy greatness fled? What art thou in the scale of universe? Less than nothing. Let yourself respond to nature. It will enrich you spiritually. Today I have grown taller from walking with the trees, the seven sister poplars which go softly in line, and I think my heart is whiter for its parley with a star that trembled out at nightfall and hung above a pine. There is a balm in the open fields. The little cares that fretted me, I lost them yesterday among the fields above the sea, among the winds at play, among the lowing of the herds, the rustling of the trees, among the singing of the birds, the humming of the bees. The foolish fears of what may happen, I cast them all away. Among the clover-scented grass, among the new mown hay, among the husking of the corn, where drowsy poppies nod, where ill thoughts die and good are born out in the fields with God. And religion in gardens. A garden is a lovesome thing. God what? Rose plot, fringed pool, ferned grot. The veriest school of peace. And yet the fool contends that God is not God in gardens, where the eve is cool. Nay, but I have a sign. It is very sure God walks in mine. The calm faith of homing waterfowl holds a lesson for everyone. Whither, midst falling dew, while glow the heavens with the last steps of day, far through their rosy depths dost thou pursue thy solitary way. There is a power whose care teaches thy way along that pathless coast. The desert and illimitable air, lone wandering but not lost. Thou art gone, the abyss of heaven hath swallowed up thy form. Yet on my heart deeply hath sunk the lesson thou hast given, and shall not soon depart. He who from zone to zone guides through the boundless sky thy certain flight, in the long way that I must tread alone, will lead my steps aright. Without experiencing sorrow, we cannot fully experience joy. We must have the contrast of sorrow and joy to help us gain perspective. They give us a knowledge of true values in just proportions. We cannot by ourselves climb to greater spiritual knowledge. We must have something which compels us to climb higher. Unless we have learned to conquer ourselves, our environment, and our experiences, we cannot win life itself. Sorrows give us the stimulus to reach those heights. They compel us to climb to our utmost ability. The deeper our sorrows, the greater the heights we can attain if we accept them with understanding and use them. The soul would have no rainbow had the eyes no tears. Sooner or later all of us come to the Red Sea place in life. Have you come to the Red Sea place in your life, where in spite of all you can do, there's no way out, there's no way back, there's no other way but through? Then wait on the Lord with trust serene till the night of fear is gone. He will send the wind, He will keep the floods when He says to your soul, go on. Must Jesus bear the cross alone and all the world go free? No, there's a cross for everyone. There's a cross for me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. All those who journey, soon or late, must pass within the garden's gate, must kneel alone in darkness there, and battle with some fierce despair. God pity those who cannot say, not mine but thine, who only pray, let this cup pass, and cannot see the purpose in Gethsemane. If life were always merry, our souls would seek relief and rest from weary laughter in the quiet arms of grief. Talents are best nurtured in solitude. Character is best formed in the stormy billows of the world. No cloud can overshadow a true Christian, but his faith will discern a rainbow. For all your days prepare and meet them each alike. When you are the anvil bear, when you are the hammer strike. A sorrow comes upon you. Meet the dreadful hour with prayer. Cast your care on God. Claim Him as your Father. And the degrading, paralyzing, embittering effects of pain and sorrow pass away. A stream of sanctifying and softening thought pours into the soul, and that which might have wrought your fall, but works in you the peaceful fruits of righteousness. When the pain of bitter bereavement has filled another with grief, you wish that a portion of comfort might bring him needed relief. But never a word do you utter to lighten the sky that is bleak. It is well enough that you pity, but brother, why don't you speak? The nurse of full-grown souls is solitude. Strange as it may seem, the cruelest blows in life often come to us from those who are nearest and dearest. Do not let those heartbreaks overcome you, but rather overcome the heartbreaks. They come to all. Life is a duty, dare it. Life is a burden, bear it. Life is a thorn crown, wear it. Though it break thy heart in twain, though the burden bear thee down, close thy lips and stand the pain. First the cross and then the crown. I learn as the years roll onward and I leave the past behind, that much I have counted sorrow, but proved that God is kind. That many a flower I had longed for had hidden a thorn of pain, and many a rugged bypath led to fields of ripened grain. The clouds that cover the sunshine, they cannot banish the sun, and the earth shines out the brighter when the weary rain is done. We must stand in the deepest shadow to see the clearest light, and often through wrong's own darkness comes the welcome strength of right. The stranger wandering in the Switzer's land before its awful mountain tops afraid, who yet with patient toil hath gained his stand on the bare summit where all life is stayed, sees far, far down beneath his blood-dimmed eye another country, golden to the shore, where a new passion and new hopes rise, where southern blossoms unfold forevermore. And I, lone sitting by the twilight blaze, think of another wanderer in the snows, and on more perilous mountain tops I gaze than ever frowned above the vine and rose. Yet courage, soul, nor hold thy strength in vain, in hope overcome the steeps God set for thee. For past and alpine summits of great pain lieth thine Italy. A Christian man's life is lain in the loom of time, to a pattern which he does not see but God does, and his heart is in the shuttle. On one side of the loom is sorrow, and on the other is joy, and the shuttle, struck alternately by each, flies back and forth, carrying the thread which is white or black as the pattern needs. And in the end, when God shall lift up the finished garment and all its changing hues shall glance out, it will then appear that the dark and deep colors were as needful to beauty as the bright and high ones. The hours I spent with thee, dear heart, are a string of pearls to me. Count them over, every one apart, my rosary, my rosary. Each hour a pearl, each pearl a prayer, to still a heart in absence wrung. I tell each bead unto the end, and there a cross is hung. Oh, memories that bless and burn, oh, barren gain and bitter loss, I kiss each bead and strive at last to learn, sweetheart, to kiss the cross. Father, I thank Thee for Thy mercies, which are new every morning, for the gift of sleep, for health and strength, for the vision of another day, with its fresh opportunities for work and service. For all these and more than these, I thank Thee. Before looking on the face of men, I would look on Thee, who art the health of my countenance and my guard. Not without the guidance without Thy guidance, would I go forth to meet the duties and tasks of the day. Strengthen me so that in all my work I may be faithful amid trials and suffering, patient under disappointment, full of hope in Thee. Thee grant this for Thy goodness' sake. Amen. Be strong. We are not here to play, to dream, to drift. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not the struggle, face it, it is God's gift. Be strong, it matters not how deep entrenched the wrong, how hard the battle goes, the day how long. Faint not, fight on, tomorrow comes the song. Count each affliction, whether light or grave, God's messenger sent down to thee. Grief should be like joy, majestic, equable, sedate, confirming, cleansing, raising, making free, strong to consume small troubles, to command great thoughts, grave thoughts, thoughts lasting to the end.
Tears are the showers that fertilize this world, and memory of things precious keepeth warm the heart that once did hold them. They are poor who have lost nothing. They are poorer far, who losing have forgotten. They most poor of all, who lose and wish they might forget. Not in the time of pleasure hope doth set her bow, but in the sky of sorrow over this vale of woe. Through gloom and shadow look we on, beyond the years. The soul would have no rainbow, had the eyes no tears. O heart of mine, O heart of mine, we shouldn't worry so. When we have mist of calm, we couldn't have, What we have met of stormy pain and sorrow's drifting rain, we can better meet again if it blow. We have erred in the dark hour, we have known. When our tears fell with the shower all alone, were not shine and sorrows blent, as our gracious Master meant. Let us temper our content with His own, for we know not every morrow can be sad. So forgetting all the sorrow we have had, let us fold away our fears and put away our foolish tears, and through all the coming years just be glad, just be glad. I have known sorrow, therefore I may laugh with you, O friend, more merrily than those who never sorrowed upon earth and know not laughter's worth. I have known laughter, Therefore I may sorrow with you far more tenderly than those who never guess how sad a thing seems merriment to one's heart's suffering. I thank thee, Lord, for mine unanswered prayers, unanswered save thy quiet, kindly nay. Yet it seemed hard among my heavy cares that bitter day. I wanted joy, but thou didst know for me that sorrow was the gift I needed most, and in its mystic depth I learned to see the Holy Ghost. I wanted health, but thou didst bid me sound the secret treasure of pain, and in the moans and groans my heart often found thy Christ again. I wanted wealth, 'twas not the better part. There is a wealth with poverty often given, and thou didst teach me of the gold of heart, best gift of heaven. I thank thee, Lord, for these unanswered prayers, and for thy word, the quiet, kindly nay. 'Twas thy withholding lightened all my cares that blessed my day. When God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let us, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the world's riches which dispersed lie contract into a span. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. When almost all was out, God made a stay, perceiving that alone of all his treasure rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, borrow this jewel also on my creature, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature, so both should losers be. Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at last, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast. A mighty monarch in the days of the old made offer of high honor, wealth and gold to one who should produce in form concise a motto for his guidance, terse yet wise, a precept soothing in his hours forlorn, yet one that in his prosperous days should warm. Many the maxims sent the king, men say, the one he chose, this too shall pass away. Has some misfortune fallen to your lot? This too shall pass away. Absorb the thought and wait. Your waiting will not be in vain. Time gilds with gold the iron links of pain. The dark today leads into light tomorrow. There is no endless joy, no endless sorrow. And you upon earth's heights, are you upon earth's heights, no cloud in view? Go read your motto once again, this too shall pass away. Fame, glory and power, they are but little bubbles of the hour, flung by the ruthless years down in the dust. Take warning and be worthy of God's trust. Use well your prowess while it lasts. Leave bloom, not blight, to mark your footprints to the tomb. The truest greatness lies in being kind. The truest wisdom is a happy mind. He who desponds his Maker's judgment mocks. The gloomy Christian is a paradox. Only the sunny soul respects its God. Since life is brief, we need to make it broad. Since life is short, we need to make it bright. Thus keep the old king's motto well in sight, and let its meaning permeate each day. Whatever comes, this too shall pass away. After pain, consider, what if this year has given grief that some year must bring? What if it hurt your joyous youth, crippled your laughter's wing? You always knew it was coming to all, to you. They always said there was suffering. Now it is done. Come through. Only your heart can pity now, where it laughed and passed. Now you can bend to comfort men, one with them all at last. You shall have back your laughter. You shall have back your song. Only the world is your brother now. Only your soul is strong. In the cross of Christ I glory, towering over the wrecks of time. All the light of sacred story gathers round its head sublime. When the woes of life overtake me, hopes deceive and fears annoy, never shall the cross forsake me, lo, it glows with peace and joy. When the sun of bliss is beaming, let light and love upon my way. From the cross the radiance streaming adds more luster to the day. Bane and blessing, pain and pleasure by the cross are sanctified. Peace there is that knows no measure, joys that through all time abide. In the cross of Christ I glory, towering over the wrecks of time. All the light of sacred story gathers round its head sublime. Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Swift to its close ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay all around I see. O thou who changest not, abide with me. I need thy presence in every passing hour. What but thy grace can foil the tempest's power? Who like thyself my guide and stay can be? Through cloud and sunshine, Lord, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight and tears no bitterness. Where is death's sting? Where, grave, thy victory? I triumph still, if thou abide with me. Hold thou thy cross before my closing eyes. Shine through the gloom and point me to the skies. Heaven's morning breaks and earth's vain shadows flee. In life, in death, O Lord, abide with me. The parts of the soul are commensurate with its needs. O Master, let me walk with thee in lowly paths of service free. Tell me thy secret. Help me bear the train of toil, the fret of care. Help me, the slow of heart, to move by some clear winning word of love. Teach me the wayward feet to stay and guide them in the homeward way. Teach me thy patience still with thee in closer, dearer company, in work that keeps faith sweet and strong, in trust that triumphs over wrong, in hope that sends a shining ray far down the future's broadening way, in peace that only thou canst give. With thee, O Master, let me live. When a loved one dies, he is made one with nature. There is heard his voice is all her music. From the moan of thunder to the song of night's sweet bird, he is a presence to be felt and known in darkness and in light. From herb and stone spreading itself wherever the power may move, which was withdrawn his being to its own, which wields the world with never wearied love, sustains it from beneath and kindles it above. He is a portion of the loveliness which once he made more lovely. Those we love truly never die. Though year by year the sad memorial wreath, ring and flowers, types of life and death, are laid upon their graves. For death the pure life saves, and life all pure is love, and love can reach from heaven to earth, and nobler lessons teach than those by mortals read. Well blessed is he who has a dear one dead, a friend he has whose face will never change, a dear communion that will not grow strange. The anchor of love is death. Do not come when I am dead to sit beside a low green mound, or bring the first gay daffodils because I love them so, for I shall not be there, you cannot find me there. I will look up at you from the eyes of little children. I will bend to meet you in the swaying boughs of bud-thrilled trees, and caress you with the passionate sweep of storm-filled winds. I will give you strength in your upward tread of everlasting hills. I will cool your tired body in the flow of the limpid river. I will warm your work-glorified hands through the glow of the winter fire. I will soothe you into forgetfulness to the drop of the rain on the roof. I will speak to you out of the rhymes of the masters. I will dance with you in the lilt of the violin, and make your heart leap with the bursting cadence of the organ. I will flood your soul with the flaming radiance of the sunrise, and bring you peace in the tender rose and gold of after sunset. All these have made me happy. They are a part of me. I shall become a part of them. I thought our love at full, but I did err. Joy's wreath drooped over mine eyes. I could not see the sorrow in our happy world. Must be love's deepest spokesman and interpreter. But as a mother feels a child first her under her heart, so felt I instantly deep in my soul another bond to thee, thrill with that life we saw depart from her. O mother of our angel child, twice dear, death knits as well as parts, and still I wish a tender radiance shall enfold us here. To make undying music in the world, breathing a beauteous order that controls with growing sway the growing life of man. May I reach that purest heaven. Be to other souls the cup of strength in some great agony. Enkindle generous ardor, feed pure love, beget the smiles that have no cruelty. Be the sweet presence of a good diffused, and in the diffusion ever more intense. So shall I join the choir invisible, whose music is the gladness of the world. Lead kindly light amid the encircling gloom. Lead thou me on. The night is dark and I am far from home. Lead thou me on. Keep thou my feet. I do not ask to see the distant scene, one step enough for me. I was not ever thus, nor prayed that thou shouldst lead me on. I loved to choose and see my path, but now lead thou me on. I loved the garish day, and spite of fears, pride ruled thy will, pride ruled my will. Remember not past years. So long thy power hath blessed me, sure it still will lead me on, over moor and fen, over crag and torrent, till the night is gone. And with the morn those angel faces smile, which I have loved long since and lost a while. O love that will not let me go, I rest my weary soul on thee. I give thee back the life I owe, that in thine ocean depth its flow may richer fuller be. O light that followest all my way, I yield my flickering torch to thee. My heart restores its borrowed ray, that in thy sunshine's blaze its day may brighter, fairer be. O joy that seekest me through pain, I cannot close my heart to thee. I trace the rainbow through the rain, and feel the promise is not vain, that morn shall tearless be. O cross that liftest up my head, I dare not ask to fly from thee. I lay in dust, life's glory dead, and from the ground there blossoms red, life that shall endless be. Mysterious night, when our first parent knew thee from report divine and heard thy name, did he not tremble for this lovely frame, this glorious canopy of light and blue? Yet, neath the curtain of translucent dew, bathed in the rays of the great setting flame, Hesperus with the host of heaven came, and lo, creation widened on man's view. Who could have thought such darkness lay concealed within thy beams, O sun? Or who could find, while fly and leaf and insect stood revealed, that to such countless orbs thou madest blind? Why do we then shun death with anxious strife, if light can thus deceive? Wherefore not life? A heartbreak is a little thing. It only means that you will have no foolish songs to sing, nor useless things to do. A heartbreak means that you can sit and watch a dream go by and laugh because you know that it will sicken soon and die. So small a thing a heartbreak is, there's no word or touch, no hand you clasp or smile you miss can move you very much. A heartbreak means that where a kiss has dealt you pain before, there is nothing next world or this can hurt you anymore. I walked a mile with pleasure. She chatted all the way, but left me none the wiser for all she had to say. I walked a mile with sorrow, and never a word said she, but oh, the things I learned from her when sorrow walked with me. Sometimes when all life's lessons have been learned, and sun and moon and stars forevermore have set, the things which are weak judgments here have spurned, the things over which we grieved with lashes wet, will flash before us out of life's dark night, as stars shine most in deeper tints of blue, and we shall see how all God's plans were right, and how what seemed reproof was love most true. And we shall see how while we frown and sigh, God's plans go on as best for you and me. How when we called, He heeded not our cry, because His wisdom to the end could see. And even as prudent parents disallow too much of sweet to craving babyhood, so God perhaps is keeping from us now life's sweetest things because it seemeth good. And if sometimes commingled with life's wine we find the wormwood and rebel and shrink, be sure a wiser hand than yours and mine pours out this potion for our lips to drink. And if someone we love is lying low, where human kisses cannot reach the face, oh, do not blame the loving Father so, but wear your sorrow with obedient grace. And you will shortly know that length and breadth is not the sweetest gift God gives His friends, and that sometimes the sable pall of death conceals the fairest boon His love can send. If you could push ajar the gates of life and stand within and all God's working see, we could interpret all this doubt and strife, and for each mystery could find a key. But not today. Then be content, poor heart. God's plan like lilies pure and white unfold. We must not tear the close-shut leaves apart. Time will reveal the calyxes of gold. And if through patient toil we reach the land, where tired feet with sandals loosed may rest, when we shall clearly know and understand, I think that we will say, God knew the best. Good night, sleep well, we say to those we love, and watch their faces glimmer on the stair, and hear faint footfalls in the rooms above sound on quiet air. Yet feel no fear, though lonely they must go, the road of slumber's strange oblivion, dark always wears to dawn. Sleep is so gentle and so well we know, wherever they have gone, they will be safe until the morning light. Good night, good night. Good night, sleep well, beloveds, when the last slow dusk has fallen and your steps no more make music on the empty upper floor, and days fully past, we who so lightly let you go alone, evening by evening from our trustful sight into the mystery of sleeps unknown. We need not fear tonight, death is so gentle, dark will break at dawn, love will be safe until the morning light. Sleep well, good night. Life, I challenge you to try me. Doom me to unending pain. Stay my hand, becloud my vision, break my heart, and then again shatter every dream I've cherished, fill my heart with ruthless fear. Follow every smile that cheers me with a bitter, blinding tear. Thus I dare you, you can try me. Seek to me seek to make me cringe and moan. Still my unbound soul defies you. I will withstand you and alone. Our crosses are hewn from different trees, but we all must have our Calvaries. We may climb the height from a different side, but we each go up to be crucified. And we scale the steep, another may share the dreadful load that our shoulders bear. But the costliest sorrow is all our own, for on the summit we bleed alone. The loss of a mother may well mean, now there shall be a new song, now there shall be a new song and a new star, a new voice in the wind to whisper me, and I shall stand within the harbour bar and watch a new light tossing down the sea. My childish terror of the Lord shall cease, and my dread fear of blind and horrid fate. And from my sin I shall have sure release, because in heaven she is my advocate. We can yet triumph. We have tried and failed, and tried again and failed again and tried. Many a time I wished that I had died before I saw the light. But though I quailed, yet have I stubbornly my fate assailed, with dazed determination, dignified with prayers and gratitude, and always cried, Thy will be done, O God, and God prevailed. Life's true values. The true values of life are not those that can be measured in money. For what doth it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his own soul? Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and dust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Woe to that land to conquering ills a prey, where wealth accumulates and men decay. It's good to have money and things that money can buy, but it's good too to check up once in a while and make sure that you haven't lost the things that money can't buy. True worth is in being, not seeming, in doing each day that goes by some little good, not in dreaming of great things to do by and by. We are so busy with facts in this age, we have become somewhat indifferent to values, art, literature, music and the like. Material interests more the values. True worth is not found in glory or power. The boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty, all that wealth ever gave, awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. Can storied urn or animated bust back to its mansion call the fleeting breath? Can honor's voice provoke the silent test, or flattery soothe the dull, cold ear of death? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. God reads the soul and not the face. He hears the thoughts and not the tongue. In heaven, the features wear no grace, save that which round the spirit hung. And only then are lovely seen, whose lives on earth have noble been. It isn't so much what you do, dear, as the things you leave undone, that leaves a bit of heartache at the setting of the sun. Victories that are easy are cheap. Those only are worth having which come as the result of hard fighting. Our character is but the stamp on our souls of the free choices of good and evil we have made through life. It is not growing like a tree in bulk that make man better be, or standing long an oak 300 year to fall a log at last, dry, bald and sere. A lily of the day is fairer far in May, although it fall and die that night. It was the plant and flower of light. In small proportions we just beauty see, and in short measures life may perfect be. Understand, however, that every man is worth just so much as the things are worth about which he busies himself. All things are implicated with one another, and the bond is holy. And there is hardly anything unconnected with any other thing. For things have been coordinated and they combine to form the same universe. For there is one universe made up of all things, and one God who provides all things, and one substance and one law, one common reason in all intelligent animals, and one truth. Good reputation has value. Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, is the immediate jewel of their souls. Who steals my purse steals trash, 'tis something, nothing. 'Twas mine, 'tis his, and has been slave to thousands, but he that filches from me my good name robs me of what enriches him not, and leaves me poor indeed. Think not so much of what thou hast not, as of what thou hast, but of the things that thou hast. Select the best, and then reflect how eagerly they would have been sought if thou hadst not them. At the same time, however, take care that thou dost not, through being so pleased with them, accustom thyself to overvalue them, so as to be disturbed if ever thou shouldst not have them. Dante pictured the emptiness of aimless idle society as the first step downward in human nature. Emptiness of aimless idle society, that is the first step downward in human nature. Are you taking the froth of life? But pleasures are like poppy spread, you seize the flower, the bloom is shed. Or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis rays that flit here, you can point to their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, vanishing amid the storm. Not education but character is man's great need and man's greatest safeguard. How can a man learn to know himself? In the measure in which thou seekest to do thy duty, shalt thou know what is in thee. But what is thy duty? The demand of the hour. They are slaves who dare not be in the right with 2 or 3. That man is rich who gives the world the best he has from day to day, who sees the good in every class on life's highway, who never tries his wealth to mass but gives away, who never robs another heart of any joy, who never tries, good friends, to part or to destroy the hopes that's groping for a start in every joy, who finds a joy in birds and flowers and babbling brooks, who loves the sunshine and the showers, the shady nooks, whose soul within him never covers but upward looks, who values most the priceless things, not bought with gold, whose voice with kindness ever rings to young and old, who with his sunshine ever brings a joy untold. Die when we may, I want it said of me, by those who know me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower when I thought a flower would grow. There is not a man or woman, however poor they may be, but have in their power by the grace of God to leave behind them the grandest thing on earth, character. And their children will rise up after them and thank God that their mother was a pious woman or their father a pious man. What sunshine is to flowers, smiles are to humanity. They are but trifles to be sure, but scattered along life's pathway, the good they do is inconceivable. Sweet are the thoughts that savor of content, the quiet mind is richer than a crown. Sweet are the nights in careless slumber spent, the poor estate scorns fortune's angry frown. Such sweet content, such mind, such sleep, such bliss, beggars enjoy, when princes often do miss. The homely house that harbors quiet rest, the cottage that affords no pride nor care, the mean that grieves with country music best, the sweet concert of mirth and music's fair. Obscured life sets down a type of bliss, a mind content, both crown and kingdom is. My mind to me a kingdom is, such present joys therein I find that it excels all other bliss that earth affords or grows by kind. Though much I want which most would have, yet still my mind forbids to crave. No princely pomp, no wealthy store, no force to win the victory, no wily wit to salve a sore, no shape to feed a loving eye. To none of these I yield as thrall, for why my mind doth serve for all. See how plenty surfeits oft, and hasty climbers soon do fall. I see that those who are aloft, mishap doth threaten most of all. They get with toil, they keep with fear, such cares my mind could never bear. Content to live, this is my stay, I seek no more than my suffice. I press to bear no haughty sway, look what I lack my mind supplies. Lo, thus I triumph like a king, content with that my mind doth bring. Some have too much, yet still do crave, I have little and seek no more. They are but poor, though much they have, and I am rich with little store. They poor, I rich, they beg, I give, they lack, I leave, they pine, I live. I laugh not at another's loss, I grudge not at another's pain. No worldly waves my mind can toss, my slate at one doth still remain. I feel no foe I fawn no friend. I loathe not life nor dread my end. Solitude is very sad. Too much company is twice as bad.